Yeah, I'll be right back. I'm really sorry about that. This has been so rough. I thought today would be quite a bit better, but it's not really by much compared to the other day.
Was needed on the front lines of the war to fight the 12-legged invader who threaten our very existence, and who very likely die in a hailstorm of bullets and mandibles. All of us must be prepared to give our lives to this noble cause, just as our children must do after us, and their children after them. God,
Jesus.
speed, and may Earth reign supreme.
Oh, gosh.
Hey, goodness, this video is a little outdated, isn't it? Well, no matter. I think the fundamentals of proper comedic timing are still as relevant today as they were back then. So with that in mind, I believe the only way forward is for us to return to the two doors and walk through all of this again, so I can try telling my story with more appropriate comedic delivery. Come along, let's head back. I can feel it. This time, I'm really going to nail the delivery. You'll be in stitches. A talking bucket, you'll say? How ridiculous. How absurd. What a hilarious concept. The king of comedy. That's what you'll call me. Thank goodness we had the instructional video. Otherwise, who knows where we'd be right now. Well, I wouldn't be the king of comedy, that's for sure. The bucket spoke to Stanley.
The bucket spoke.
The bucket spoke. Oh, I'll figure it out on the fly. No need to overthink things.
Do I lie? I feel like right now, stop. I should probably have done more bandwidth testing before I start this stream, but today I was really running late.
Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. What? We're back at the phone already? No. What's going on? There was supposed to be several rooms leading up to this. There was supposed to be a build-up to this point, a dramatic display of remarkable comedic wit which culminates in this scene with the phone. But now the timing's completely off. The joke will never land. Well, not the way it was meant to. And it's all my fault. I must have forgotten that the phone room comes immediately after the 2 doors room. What an egregious mistake. I've made a fool of myself. I don't deserve the title of King of Comedy. I'm nothing. I'm not even the lowliest joke-telling whelp. I think I need to go back and rewatch that instructional video again. Yes, surely that will help me improve my... Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
Give me a second. Just adjusting my seat. What if I do this again?
What? We're back at the phone already? No. Here we go. You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left.
This is probably gonna happen again and again.
What? We're back at the phone already? No.
Okay, I don't
Here
think
we
there's
go.
anything new.
You ready? When Stanley and the bucket came to a set of 2 open doors, they entered the door on the left. No. You were supposed to go through the door on the right, leading back to the phone. Did you not even look at the instructional video? I think this is all covered very clearly. There's no way I can make the comedic timing work now. It's done. The joke is completely done and over. It's all your fault, Stanley. I'm going to be ridiculed in the community of other joke writers. I'm going to be shamed at every one of our meetings from now on. All because you couldn't watch a simple video and take a hint. Are you proud of yourself for bringing me down, Stanley? Are you proud?
Wait, what?
Stanley, you love the bucket so much it's like you... it's as though all of your other most prized possessions pale in comparison. Yes.
This cannot be...
I heard that you
This
are
cannot be
pale
the
with
real
shame
ending.
over how unabashedly in love
But
with a bucket you
in
are.
the original game, this kinda is.
Is it the delivery? Pale with shame. Pale with shame? Pale... What's another word to describe a bucket? Stanley, this bucket is so metal. I think I saw it playing guitar. No. We're getting away from making fun of Stanley's obsession with the bucket, which was the whole point of this. I'm no good at these jokes. I need more instructional videos. That's exactly what it is. That's what will make me the king of comedy again. More instructional videos. Let's see. A soft wind blew outside and perhaps rain started, and if it did, it stopped shortly after. Stanley hoped that he would one day see weather. Stanley picked up the bucket and smiled. He'd never be alone again, not truly alone, not with the bucket around. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Okay, let me take the
No,
underpass.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Good.
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked. No, stop. Look there on the wall, you see? There's a sign right there. It says, "No buckets past this point." Stanley, how could you think it was okay to bring the bucket here? Unless, what if the problem is that you actually don't know what is a bucket and what isn't a bucket? I suppose that would explain a lot about your behavior up to this point. Which, if that's true, well, my goodness, I think we have to do something about it. This misunderstanding could have dire consequences on the entire rest of the game if not addressed quickly and properly. So much of the impact of the story is dependent on your understanding of what is and isn't a bucket. Please, step in here for a moment. Now then, I'm going to run you through some test scenarios.
Oh my
and you'll
God.
tell me whether or not the thing I'm showing you is a bucket. Simple enough, right? This should tell us everything we'll ever need to know about what is or is not a bucket. Okay, let's begin. Item 1. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a hologram of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
How can I even
Item
tell?
2. Is this a bucket? Correct. It is a 3D printed recreation of a bucket, not an actual bucket.
Jeez, they don't look any different.
Item 3. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
There's no way I got all of them right.
Item 4. Is this a bucket? What? Are you hallucinating? This is a tractor. It's an enormous machine that tills the earth. I thought this was a gimmick. How on earth did you manage to screw it up? Absolutely incredible. Let's just move on to the next one. Is this a bucket? Correct. This is a bucket.
No, it is.
Item 6. Is this a bucket? Trick question. Both. Gotcha. Item Wait, hold on. I can't find the next one. Let me see. It should be around here somewhere. Yes, thank you. There's nothing here. Of course it isn't a bucket. We both know full well that nothing isn't a bucket. Wait, when I say nothing isn't a bucket, that makes it sound like I'm saying everything is a bucket, which of course is not true. Unless, is that what you think? Answer me straight, Stanley. Are you trying to tell me that you believe everything is a bucket? You know what? I'm too confused to even sort it out. I've lost all sense of perspective. What is a bucket? What isn't a bucket? Mere moments ago I could answer these questions with confidence. And yet now I'm somewhat lost. Do any of us know what a bucket is? Am I a bucket? Stanley, I can't keep doing this. I'm losing myself, and myself was all I ever had to begin with. I'm afraid the bucket is threatening to tear our relationship apart. I can't have that. I'm sorry. But I'm going to erase all buckets from the game entirely.
What?
Okay, here we go. What happened? Is everything gone? Why did everything disappear? Wait, was everything a bucket? Every single thing in the game was a bucket. Oh my God, I had no idea. How could... except me. I'm not a bucket after all. And you, Stanley, you're still here. You're not a bucket either. Oh, this is wonderful news. We're not buckets. Yes, I actually feel much more at ease right now. It's delightful to get some clarity on that issue, but it doesn't change the fact that we haven't got a game. So, tell you what, I'll reset everything and we'll put back all of the buckets, okay? And we'll know that it's all a bucket. But if you run into anyone else, maybe don't mention that. Who knows what that information might do to a person? All right, here we go.
Yeah, that's certainly something. Huh?
Good morning. Thank you for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation. We are confirming your shipment of 1,327 cardboard boxes to your place of work. Can you verify that this is correct? Excellent. Your order will arrive shortly. Thank you again for contacting the Future Happiness Foundation.
Future Happiness Foundation? I don't even know.
The good old bucket. Just Stanley and the bucket. Off on another thrilling adventure together. Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Wait, I forgot to test out one of the paths on the right. Oh, let me see. I'm just missing one. Somewhere both red and blue.
Stanley, we must move on from this broom closet, simply because I have no remaining stickers. Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I've got the feeling... Huh? Money is for stealing, but not yours, of course. Who's... It's a lovely purse? I don't even think that does anything. This actually works now? I thought it doesn't. Wait, since when did this work? Oh my god. Somebody's humming with that? Wait, what? This is just the same place. There's no end to this, I think. It's just gonna keep going. Is that I'm wondering if this music is a loop. So far it hasn't been a loop. Let me see what happens. I think now it's really a loop. Just give me a second and let me reply to your message. Okay, let's just get out of this elevator. Like, there's no end to this. It's just... we're just back to where they began.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight of this revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light pierce the dark clouds of confusion
I
and
forgot
chaos.
what the code
It
was.
would be with him, always. The bucket would. And he knew it. The two of them were inseparable. At this point, Stanley was so absorbed in the tender spiritual connection he shared with the bucket that he didn't notice the keypad behind the boss's desk. Nor in his bliss of simply being near the bucket did he have any notion that the PIN number for the keypad was 2845.
2845, okay.
But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation. Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket both wondered to themselves. The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this, and it very nearly burst into tears as Stanley cradled it gently, reassuring it that everything would be fine.
It's just the same endings, but just with the bucket part added in the narration.
Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind. No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never! He squeezed the bucket tighter, his one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket. But here was the proof. The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions, happy or sad or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life. For he and the bucket would dismantle the controls for good. Two best friends, Stanley and the bucket, up against the world. They high-fived in a really cool way, and the bucket made a sassy comment about taking down the system. When at last they came to the source of the room's power, Stanley and the bucket knew it was their obligation to put an end to this horrible place and to everything it stood for. But at the last second, the bucket jumped in and pressed the button to turn on the controls. Stanley gasped in horror. Had this been the bucket's plan all along? To take over the machine and claim the power for itself? How could the bucket have betrayed him like this? Stanley was prepared to throw the bucket away in disgust when suddenly an image appeared upon the enormous screen. Birds. Silly, silly birds. The control buttons became active again.
Oh!
Stanley flipped through one video of silly birds after another, and then it dawned on him. This wasn't a mind control facility at all. It was a facility for monitoring and surveilling silly birds all over the world. The mind controls were only a facade to disguise its true intentions. Had the bucket known this all along? Stanley marveled at the metal genius in his hands, the one who had pointed him towards this incredible discovery. Stanley and the bucket never found freedom because they spent the rest of their lives here in this place, flipping through live streams of the silliest birds imaginable. Of all the possible paths his life could have taken, this one was surely the best. And
Oh, that
Stanley
really is a lot.
was happy.
All kinds of birds. What was the last one? Oh, I think it's a dog. Okay.
All of his co-workers were
God.
gone.
I've never
What could it
seen this
mean?
before.
Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo.
Can't get to that.
Where are we going today? The bucket asked. Stanley just smiled. Anywhere they went together would be perfectly fine with him.
Let me
Stanley
check.
clutched the
There's
bucket tightly to
another
his chest. This was
pass.
not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be. And here it was. Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Well, no, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting room.
Oh yeah. So what if I don't unplug the phone?
No.
Said the bucket.
Don't go to the meeting room. Go somewhere else. The cargo lift, yes. Go there. Go to the cargo lift.
If penalty for misuse of the cargo lift $1,000. Penalty for jumping off the cargo lift 5,000. Do not jump from the cargo lift while it is in motion. Will cause death.
Good,
Said the bucket.
Now ride the lift all the way to the top. There's something up there I need you to do.
Stanley did not question why or how this bucket was speaking to him. It should have alarmed him, of course, because buckets can't talk. But Stanley chose not to think about this obvious fact. He was firmly convinced that the bucket had spoken to him, and he unthinkingly did whatever the bucket asked.
In here.
Said the bucket.
Go into this dark room over here.
Stanley once again obeyed blindly.
Now pick up the phone.
Said the bucket.
I haven't done this.
This is the sad story of a man named Stanley and his bucket.
Huh?
Once upon a time, I gave Stanley a bucket because I thought he was lonely and could use a friend. And then, very distressingly, he began to believe the bucket could speak to him.
This is completely new. Oh, look at this. Beige pages? What is beige pages? Suitcase, a couple of them. Interesting looking place. Wow, a lot of empty space. Yeah, looks quite comfy though. Huh? Oh my god, really? He's talking to me.
The Stanley Parable Reassurance Bucket was merely meant to provide the comforting glow of companionship. It doesn't literally talk and give you orders. Whatever Stanley is hearing the bucket say to him is just in his head. Lately, I've been concerned about him. Wouldn't you be concerned as well? To see him delusional like this, obsessing over an inanimate metal object? I want to say something to him, but I don't know how I can convince him. I don't know if he'll listen to me.
Wow. Okay.
Oh, I'll try anyway. Stanley, can you hear me? Listen to me. It's just a bucket. It can't think, it can't talk. All it will ever truly do for you is effectively transfer a liquid from one location to a different location. That's it. It doesn't do anything else.
Don't listen to the loud man.
You see, he's not listening. He's still taking orders from the bucket. You know, once upon a time it was me he took orders from. Me he trusted and listened to. Now all he cares about is his awful bucket. This stupid hunk of metal.
Press X to ignore anyone in your life except me.
It's sad. I suppose he doesn't need me anymore. From now on, he's just going to cling to this bucket, this cold, empty bucket, this sort of shiny bucket. Well, I'll give it this. The bucket does have a nice shine to it. Yes, I suppose on closer inspection that it doesn't quite look like your average hardware store bucket. It's just a little more, what am I trying to say? Sturdier, more capable of transporting liquid. Like it would be better at moving an amount of water from one room to another.
Oh.
Oh my God, what am I saying? Better
What?
at carrying water from room to room. It's a bucket. It's literally just a bucket. Why do I feel some need to point out the ways in which it's so much more than just a regular bucket?
Press X to go home to work to home to work to home.
Oh no. I'm having feelings for the bucket. No. What's going on? Why do I want to be with the bucket? Hear what the bucket has to say. Do anything it asks. What's wrong with me? I don't understand. Perhaps, if I had the bucket, this would be less confusing. Yes. The bucket could tell me what to do in this troublesome situation.
Oh my god. I didn't steal it. I mean, it's what the endings looks like. The bucket is giving me instructions. Yeah, this is supposed to be Stanley's home. And the narrators going crazy as well. And basically, like, Stanley only listens to the bucket now. I never knew, like, Stanley as a home. Looks so weird. Oh, is it a simulacrum? I'm not sure what the word means. Looks like you've taken your employees' property into your house. Yep. I mean, because the bucket is talking to Stanley. And I mean, if you follow.
Stanley, give me the bucket. Give it to me. Give me the bucket, Stanley. I
my
need
God.
it. Give it to me now. Give it, or I'll.
Huh? Go back to work, Stanley. Yeah, the bucket is talking to you, basically the player. I mean, supposedly a joke at first, and then yeah, I mean, it's hard to make sense of these things, whatever happens in this game.
How long was I sitting there? Stanley wondered to himself. Minutes? Days? Centuries? Did something crucial happen while my senses were turned? He made a note to be more careful with time from now on.
Oh my god. I hear really strong wind.
A good bucket, a strong bucket, a humble bucket, a committed bucket, a bucket of culture and
I mean, I feel like
distinction.
Stanley's never really had a mind to begin with. All he does is push buttons. Whatever he does for work is better than with a robot.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door.
I don't know, automated software. Let me see. I don't know how to find the last one. Somewhere both red and blue.
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
I don't want to do the elevator again.
Stepping into his manager's
Hi,
office,
Luguang.
Stanley was once
Welcome.
again stunned to discover not an indication of
Also, I'm really sorry about the bunch of Go Live messages. I probably should have stayed with the same VPN server, but I mean,
any human life.
my string got dropped like quite a few times, and I had to restart that. Anyways,
Crushed by the
how was
weight
your
of this
weekend?
revelation, Stanley may have broken down into an emotional dumpster fire if not for the soothing presence of the bucket. Even now, in his darkest of hours, did the bucket's warmth and guiding light
pierce the dark clouds of confusion and chaos. It would be with him always. The bucket would, and he knew it. But Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
You're kind of dying, but what? But you're okay? But, I think those two things are mutually exclusive. What is happening? Oh.
Stanley and the bucket walked straight ahead through the large door that read, Mind Control Facility.
That's how I feel. Oh, okay. You don't mean literally die. Okay.
The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley and the bucket
here's a
both
metaphor.
wondered to themselves.
Not really dying, at least.
The monitors jumped to life, and Stanley nearly dropped the bucket in shock. Everyone in the office was being videotaped, monitored like guinea pigs. The bucket had never seen anything like this.
Yeah, I mean, my stream's not doing that well either. Like, lately I haven't been able to get any new followers. On the contrary, like, people have been unfollowing. Like, I don't know,
nearly burst into
one a week?
tears as Stanley
Something like
cradled it
that, I don't
gently,
know.
reassuring it that everything would be fine. Was the bucket under the mind control facility's influence as well? Had the bucket been told to do things it didn't wish to do? What kinds of things does a bucket want to do or not want to do in the first place? These questions raced furiously in Stanley's feeble mind.
Dear Link, I finished Kina a couple streams ago, I think. Really enjoyed the ending.
No! He screamed into the bucket. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control, never!
Probably because of people came for different games. Maybe. I don't know if I did anything wrong.
The bucket tighter. His one friend in the entire world. At this point, he could trust no one except for the bucket.
But yeah, like, it's a possibility, it's just...
But here was the proof.
Still a bit weird.
The heart of the operation. Controls labeled with emotions. Happy, or sad, or content. Walking, eating, working, all of it monitored and commanded from this very place. And as the cold reality of his past began to sink in, Stanley decided that this machinery would never again exert its terrible power over another human life.
This one. I've tried keeping on with the bucket.
Stanley and the bucket waited in blackness. Was it over? Yes, they had done it. Stanley and the bucket had defeated their greatest and darkest enemy, freed themselves from the tyrannical grip of the evil mind control machine. Freedom was now mere moments away. Excitedly, the two of them began to discuss the kind of life they wanted to live once they stepped through this massive door. The bucket wanted to learn to roller skate.
I mean, it's a new content of the Ultra Deluxe version of the game, so yeah, narrators make it like the bucket and Stanley, I mean the player, are in love or something and inseparable.
Stanley wanted to sneeze in every country on Earth. Both of them wanted to begin watching a movie, any movie, but then stop it halfway through and begin watching it in reverse from the end. True, it was a simple life they envisioned, but it was one they'd lived together, with one another to lean on, to trust, to support.
Oh my god. Huh?
What? Wait. What was
stopped.
happening? Why had the door stopped? Was Stanley and the bucket not about to be freed? An unbearable silence filled the room, lingering in uncertainty. Until finally the truth hit Stanley square in the face. This building did not want the bucket to leave. Even the facility itself recognized the incredible calming presence of the bucket, needed the soothing warmth of the bucket, would go to any lengths not to part with the bucket. No. Stanley can't leave this place. Not while he has such a
I mean, the place doesn't want Stanley and the bucket to
precious
be
bucket in his
together.
arms. Not while this building has anything to say about it. Stanley realized he would never again leave this very room. But at least he has the bucket. To be trapped eternally in darkness isn't really so bad, Stanley thought to himself. As long as I have my bucket with me, right? I'll be okay, won't I? Stanley gulped. Very soon now, he was about to find out.
Huh? What now? I just go back to the beginning, don't tell me. Oh, really?
Wait, Stanley thought to himself.
At this point, Stanley seemed to have developed some really unhealthy attachment to the bucket.
Am I sure that the orders stopped coming in? How is that possible? They never stopped.
Also,
Surely
he
I was
could
mistaken.
received. Oh my god. But did you play the original game, Le Guan, or the Ultra Deluxe? I bet there's something about Stanley and Bucket on Rule 34. It sounds familiar. Does it have something to do with fanfic? I never completely
embrace of an
understood
old friend.
what Rule 34 is.
A weathered companionship that stands the test of time. That has something to do with fanfic, yes. Oh.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his chest and entered the door on his left.
Let me see, do I have anything on the right? I think I did everything on the right. With the bucket. You can't even interact with anything with this bucket. Someone gets it? I feel like...
Coming to a staircase, Stanley and the bucket walked upstairs to the boss's office.
To be rich isn't a crime. To commit crimes isn't it rich? What a life it would be to have to pick just one. What an evil boss.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Crushed by the weight, but Stanley guessed the correct code by sheer luck. Was it that the bucket knew all along? Was the bucket guiding him? Yes, this is certainly the most logical explanation.
Wait, I think I haven't done everything on the right yet. Did I? Let me restart this.
How wonderful. Stanley was alone. Finally. This is great, he thought to himself. This is what I've wanted all along. I got what I wanted.
The bucket made Stanley want to be a better man and a better co-worker. In time, perhaps, he would become both of those things.
Stanley clutched the bucket tightly to his... This was not the correct way to the meeting room, but Stanley had felt the bucket calling to him, telling him that the employee lounge was simply the place to be.
But yeah, like, so far, one of the endings where you do get to bring the bucket back
And
to
here
Stanley's
it was.
home.
Had the bucket turned out to be correct? Was this better than the meeting room? Yes, Stanley
Rabbit saw
thought
that
it-
earlier.
Yes, perhaps it really was. How insightful the... No, never mind. The bucket was wrong. Stanley took the door on his left to go back to the meeting, and so the two of them
I haven't
detoured
done
through
this
the
one
maintenance
yet.
section and walked straight ahead to the opposite door. Oh, good Stanley. I'm glad you found your way here. I knew you'd find this place eventually.
We care about you, Stanley.
You see, your friends and I are concerned for you, Stanley. We've come together here because we care about you very much. It's this bucket you're carrying around everywhere. The bucket isn't even from the original Stanley Parable. It's just sequel content. We're the ones that matter, Stanley. Class...
Have you found button that skips narrator? Yeah, I did that part last time I streamed. Yeah, like the part where you keep skipping. I mean, I actually listened to everything the narrator had to say between the skips until like so much time had been skipped and the room basically collapsed.
Classic characters from the first game, like the adventure line and the broom closet. Because that's what fans want from a sequel. They want more of their favorite jokes, not this bucket that they've never seen before. Yes, I know I'm the one who gave you the bucket, but you're spending too much time with it. Don't you want another story involving the adventure line? We could make the adventure line go somewhere new. Yes, that's what the fans want. Let's do it.
Okay. And who? I mean, mannequin and the baby. We care about you, Stanley. I think that's a punish room. Let me take a look at my keyboard. By the way, like, is there a way to really open the console and try to cheat? Yeah, intervention room? Forgot what. Yeah, I remember like in the OG game, if you try to type in a cheat code, you'll be brought to that room. But I really forgot how you can do this. I don't think so. There is a way. Forgot what the command is to open the console. Let's just keep going then.
Whee!
Oh my
Look at
God.
that wacky line. Who knows where it'll go off to next? Oh, and it played some silly music as well.
Oh, it's this again. But yeah, sounds like you finished this game. Yeah, everybody likes this music. about the paintings upside down?
Now this is what the Stanley Parable is all about. Don't you remember all those great jokes from the original dialogue?
Also, Stanley is addicted to drugs and hookers.
It's as classic now as it was back then. Let's do it for the fans, Stanley. Let's give them more content exactly like this.
Unfortunately,
but if we want to do
unfortunately, the music got cut out because we don't have an agency. Like
that, you're
it's all the narrator.
going to have to give something up.
What is this? Look into the ceiling, like what a strange ceiling they got. Wait, this looks like Portugal all of a sudden.